Good morning. It's 9 o'clock in the morning on Monday, December 18th. And what else? 2023. I have audio confirmation. You did not hear that. And I got a couple things. For us to yak about. I'm going to start over here with chat. And then we'll get on to those topics. Greg Guy, first place. Wow, morning, Doug. It's 53 degrees here in southern Maryland, but windy. Greg, I have reserved my chat room so that you can always be first. You have priority placement. Of course, you got to get here before anybody else in order to make access of that. John Williams, good day to you. Good song from the Mamas and Papas so long ago. That was the Monday song. Chris Garrett, your new friend Max says hello. Max is Chris Garrett's dog. His dog said hello to me on Saturday. When I woofed at him, he looked at the screen. John Williams, I was the first to hit the thumbs up button, LOL. Chris, then John Williams, something is weird about the way YouTube's taking likes. The like button for me is white and it only shows one like. So I guess Chris is implying there that he had done a like as well and had only seen one like after John had made that claim. What do I show? I show 0 likes. How about that? That makes me feel good. If I do a refresh on this, do I get more? Yeah, there I see 4. So that doesn't update dynamically, at least not very quickly. Then Chris, I hit the like button 11:39 when I'm posting my message. Your message shows up 11:41. Totally weird. Yep, I think you need to refresh. Ken is saying the time is 11:59. We got people coming. Oh no, those are all in the 11 a.m. time zone. 12 noon by now. Selden Ball, hello. Let's see. Ken, hello. John, Chris, I've already said those names. Danielle Lamberley. I managed to get my memory integrity turned on for my 2 desktop computers. No driver issues at all with the newer one. With the older one, I uninstalled Roland Boss Katana guitar amplifier driver. Did you have to do that in order to get memory integrity turned on? No issues with the newer one. Oh, okay, so with the older one, you did have an issue, and you had to uninstall that driver in order to get that to work. After turning on memory integrity, were you able to reinstall that driver? Danielle. Rand Israel, hello. Richard Rogers, hello. I also had to remove an older WDC driver. Western Digital Corporation used DOS commands to remove it. Wow. On the older computer. Interesting. Now, did the memory integrity thing point to those drivers as being the source of your trouble? I'm assuming you had that it was, well, yeah, you kind of implied that it wasn't, you weren't able to turn that on until you did those 2 actions. Zavi Menor's here, hello. Chris Garrett, I hit refresh. When I hit like, it was 0, now it's 3. YouTube used to update instantly. Everyone would see the numbers change. I have seen that. I've seen numbers change as you're watching. I noticed that yesterday on another channel I was watching. Yeah, Ken agrees with that. Sorry, I'm in a foul mood dealing with eBay sellers. So sorry to hear that. And Alice says hello to everyone. Oh, Alice. And Oystein. Is Oystein also present? After the Fortnite stream this morning, I noticed the 2 of you were not moderators on my Fortnite channel. Well, you are now blue on my Fortnite channel. You'll notice that next time you get onto it. Okay, so Saturday we had that fun little bit that Houston, we have trouble. That didn't work out right. Yeah, let's see. Oh, this list is showing me people that are currently on. I've previously seen more on that. I've got this streamer bot and speaker bot configured. And Alice says, thank you in regards to the moderator. So we're going to try this out. And I've got to unmute internal audio so that you can hear this. So now, in chat, you can put an !Doug or abbreviated !D. And then type a message after that, and it's going to read that message to me. So let's give that a shot. There's Oystein in blue. Yeah, so if somebody will put in an !D or
Ken
Doug,
Stout Live said, "Here is your message."
Yeah, so you should have heard his name. It doesn't pronounce the whole name for me. So Ken just tested that, and you should have been able to hear that. Now I'd like to have one more person test that, and then I'm going to do a little twist on that.
Ran Israel said testing.
There we go with Ran Israel. So now then...
Ken Stout Live said, "Doug, we have a problem."
Yeah, we do not. We do not, you fool. Then let's see, where do I go for this? Over here to queue, pausable chat messages. So now I can pause that. So now I want to see a couple more come in. A couple more chat messages that begin with the !D, then type your message. And because I have that paused, those should not come in until I unpause it. So there's 3 of them there. Now over here on this panel, it shows that there's 3 pending. There's 3 that have played. So now I'll resume. Select resume here, and I'll go ahead and
Oystein said this
those.
is working fine. Ken Stout Live said a couple more.
Ran Israel said again.
Selden Ball said another test.
Zvi Manor said wow.
Ken Stout Live said such a Doug or sad.
Leuna Dro said hi.
John Williams said good day.
All right, I'm going to pause that here. Now, that can be paused so that while I'm talking on other subjects and I don't want to be interrupted, those won't be coming through. But when I'm ready to go deal with messages, I can play those that way. And one of the things that is interesting is I can interact, meaning it can be reading out what you're saying, and I can actually respond as it's reading. So I think I might try this out a little bit. But that means when you don't do the !D, it's not going to read those messages. Now, if this turns out to be something useful for us, my thinking there is much of the time you guys are talking back and forth to each other, and you don't even intend or care whether I read your messages. So that means you could type in messages to each other, and they don't come to my attention unless you do the !D in front of them. Now, I don't know if that's more of a nuisance than is worthwhile. I don't know if we're going to like this at all. But this next step, I think we are going to like. So even if we're not using the !D, here's the next thing that is, I think, is going to work for us or be useful. This other one called immediate. The way you make an immediate message come through is with an !problem or !P for short. So even if I have these messages paused, which right now they are paused, let's see if I come over and look at it. Chat message. Oh,
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, there you go. See, the IP, it gives that automated voice that we have a problem. However, it has a timeout. So once one person puts that in, I'll hear that. But if multiple people put it in, it's not going to keep repeating because I only need to be interrupted once. We don't need to keep hearing it over and over and over. So yeah, it's a way for you to let me know that my microphone's muted or I'm displaying the wrong screen or there's buffering. If you do the !P by itself, then all I'm going to hear is Houston, we have a problem. If you type anything after the P, then I'm going to hear that as well. The timeout is 2 minutes long, if I remember right. let's see, that timeout is, is it in here? No, where was that timeout? I think it's over here. Interrupt, no, over here, interrupt. Yeah, here's the timeout set for 120 seconds. All right. Now, if I go back, now what I want to do, there's two more pendings for the puzzle. What I want to do is get me a button set up on the Stream Deck. Turns out the configuration for the buttons on the Stream Deck for this is really complicated. So I haven't got
Ken
to that
Stout
yet.
Live said hello homies.
Ken Stoutlive said, oh, we care, we care.
We care? What? We care? Oh, we care, we care. Oh, that's what you said. In relation to something back then. So I'm gonna pause this here so I can move on to talk about something else that came out this morning. You remember that computer that had a scammer connection. I've got something else on that. Where is it? I don't see it showing there. Where's the picture? Not there. So I'll come back this way, go find that picture. Yeah. So she sent me a text this morning saying that this message was showing on the screen when she turned the computer on this morning. Well, I did some checking and found that actually what she did last night is she put it to sleep. She did not turn it off or shut it down. We made some adjustments to the computer, and I trained her a little bit about the difference between putting it to sleep and shutting it down. And we also turned off the fast startup because it was enabled. This message would go away after a little while. I connected, I used auto runs, I deleted a couple things in the registry. It's just not apparent where this is coming from. So I want to try something here. I haven't tried doing a photo search for a long time. Some people don't know you can do this. Here on the Google search screen, there's this camera image right here. I'll click on that to search by image. And then I want to go grab that file that has the image. And it's this one right here. Drag that into here and let Google do a search on that image. See if we get something more. Now this is kind of very similar to a message that shows up when we're doing Windows updates. But that's not quite the same as a Windows update installing. It says software is updating. That's different, right? I don't see any of these searches so far saying software is updating. They're just giving text on a blue screen. So that didn't help. I did do a Google search with just that text here, this one. Software is updating. Do not turn off your computer on startup. It happens on startup, but it's... Let's put this part in quotes. Manual for Hoover Company, BPO outsourcing, these, let's see, Screen Connect. Yeah, Screen Connect. I saw that a couple times in the other one. And Screen Connect is what they appear to have been using for that remote connection. But the software is no longer present. And I think what's happening is somehow that splash screen is still there. And I don't know where that's loading from. This is a Facebook. That's not on target. And I've had this happen before too. Trying to download a manual for a fireplace insert. A very obsolete manual, and I discovered, oh, scammers are using that technique. They'll find something, some kind of an old manual that people are searching for that can't be found anywhere, and they'll make something up as a way to try to get the scammers connected to your computer. So this justanswer.com, I wouldn't trust that very much at this point. She wants to talk to me. No, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to close that completely. All right, coming back to chat. So if those exclamation mark D's become useful, there's no pending accounts now. So I can say, okay, there's none pending there. So I'll just go look at chat myself. And here I'm basically spying on you guys to see your chit chat back and forth. Now here he put me in orange. Once again, you said we don't care if you read all the chats. All right, I'll take your word for it. You said we don't care. I said you guys don't care if I read all the chats. Did I say that really? Huh. Brian Taken, don't believe Doug. He has not reserved the chat room for you. He has reserved the waiting room if you ever dare to show up in Zoom. Kind of looks like a pending update, maybe even from Microsoft. Sometimes updates get stuck. It's just not behaving like it. And both husband and wife said that message only started coming up since the scammer's connection a few days ago. Try restarting manual. Second suggestion would be doing a cold boot. Been there, done that. Eliminating the update. Been there, done that. Speedy, Josh, hello. Can you show the auto runs report? Oh, did I? Oh, maybe I can. Maybe I can. You know what? When I went to start the live stream, I realized, oh, wait a minute, I'm already recording. Why am I recording? And I think what I did is I actually did hit record when I connected to that computer. So yeah, maybe I can. Let's go see if I can bring up that auto runs report. Yeah, I do have it here. So I'm positioning this in a certain way. I don't want to scrub through this because I haven't pre-considered it. Okay, so here is that video. You see a weird picture-in-picture behind there because I was looking at Baby Beast in that picture where you see me in profile. So here's the top of that. This one, Microsoft Edge auto launch. Highly unlikely that would be doing it, but I did remove that. Now let's see. I'm gonna pop back once in a while and try to show the rest of that list. Okay, here it's repopulating. I deleted that first one from the registry. Did I? Wait a minute. No, it's still there. Here we go. Oh, I know what I did. That first time, I didn't launch auto runs in administrator mode. So that's what I just did that you didn't see there as I went back out and relaunched it in administrator mode. So now I'm doing jump to entry, which will take me to that point in the registry. And I'm thinking that might just be loading a background Edge so that it can do its updates in the background. And then I do a refresh button here. Nothing in here jumped out at me. I went down looking through them one at a time. That one MS Corey's down there that has no name, I'm always suspicious of those things. Security registration, but I did a Google search on that, and that looked to me like it was okay. And it was installed December 7th, it's long before this problem occurred. And at one point, I was headed towards sorting these in date order, and I didn't complete that. Okay, I'm going to take that off screen and scrub forward a little bit and see if I can show you the rest of the screen.
Computer not to take.
Whoops.
Right.
Oops. You just heard some of our conversation. Let's fix that. Mute that audio. Yeah, here's further down the list. I'm not going to leave this on screen too awful long. If you want to pause and study closer, I'll let you do that on your own rather than looking through them all. I have a redirect set for pirate software. Advancing a little bit by a little bit and letting it stay there just long enough so you can go back and pause and look through those closer for those of you who are interested to that level. There's a lot of stuff there. And I know you're having a difficult time telling whether I'm going forward or backward. And I think I might be skipping over stuff. Yeah, but it's a long list of stuff. And I don't want to spend a whole long time with that because as far as I know, it might be solved at this point. But whatever was causing that was pretty significantly buried that I hadn't found it. And I don't think it's actually malware because malware scans, I used a couple different products, did not find anything. I'm thinking of some form of splash screen that's just displaying triggered on something. Now it's coming up before putting in a login password. So the computer restarts and before putting in login password, and that came up. However, when that happened, it wasn't actually fully shut down. It was just in a standby mode. All right. Anyway, I might be coming back at you with more about this. I'm going to move on back to chat room. And actually, I'm going to take another little detour and show who's bugging me now. Yeah, I got a laugh out of this morning because I was looking at Pirate Software to see if he's streaming right now, and he was, and I looked at the chat room, and this thing was just blazing through. Right now, it seems to be stalled. His chat room runs very, very fast. Here's his Twitch chat room going pretty crazy fast. Let's get back over here to chat. People saying hellos to each other. Now, if this chat thing, there's 2 pending counts, so I'll go ahead and resume that.
Ran Israel said, I assume that blue software update screen doesn't appear in safe mode?
I've not tried
Ran
safe
Israel
mode.
said QuickBook update engine?
I was suspecting QuickBooks too, but that just doesn't seem right. I've never seen QuickBooks do that, and the QuickBooks that she has is obsolete. It's no longer under support. So I don't think that's what's doing it. So yeah, that was interesting. I'll leave this unpaused for the moment and see how it goes. So more chit chat. I like my new name from Josh Kinder Retro Gaming. Hellos to each other. Oh, such a
Rand
cat.
Israel
Hey,
said that was the one I noticed was listed as unverified.
That one was listed as unverified. That was was that the QuickBooks? Looking back. Yeah, QuickBooks. I've seen unverifieds as not too much of a concern for now, particularly for something that's obsolete. And I see your yes, Ren. QuickBooks, since it's obsolete, it's easily believable that back then the verified technique for files was not so common. And to Alice, other than little white flakes falling out of the sky, I'm good. So we saw that. I have not tried to safe mode. The thing is, we can't make it happen. It doesn't. We did restart the computer while it's connected remotely, and that blue screen did not come up. So when does it come up? Is it only going to come up the first startup of the day or what? But we're not able to make it happen. If we could, that would help track it down. This box could have a rat installed. Is there an outside chance the background screen got changed to malicious one? I went and looked at background screens and lock screens, and thinking that I might be able to see that screen as a
Ran
choice.
Israel said maybe
did not
it's a
find
scheduled
it.
task.
I looked at scheduled tasks, also Ran Israel, and none of this. In fact, I could bring that up too on that video, couldn't I? Scroll forward to, yeah, here's scheduled tasks. And in the summary section for scheduled tasks, these were all pretty normal looking things to me. And then there's a Microsoft Edge update task, multiple triggers defined. It could be buried in one of these. If somebody came up with a clever way of burying that kind of a screen. Now, this particular scammer organization, I'm not impressed with their skill level, because they were trying to get $744,555 out of her bank account, trying to get her to send that money back to them because they were supposed to have
Ken Stoutlive said yup at Ran Israel.
$745, and they mistakenly hit extra 4s and extra 5s. And there's no way she could have sent the amount of money they were asking for, because they knew her account didn't have that much money. So how smart are they if they're trying to scam her for an amount of money that doesn't exist in her bank account? She can't give them that much money. All right, so I think I showed you this. I'm going to probably scroll down there a bit on scheduled tasks. So I'd have to look deeper into each of these to look on the triggers, perhaps, look at the last run times. Now, I was trying to add another column. I thought I've seen task scheduler with a last run column. Oh, I didn't scroll over. Yeah, it's probably out there. I was a little bit short on time while I was doing that, so I wasn't thinking everything through very well. I also went and looked in Event Viewer around the time range that this happened, and nothing jumped out at me. This is going to bring up Event Viewer, and then I went into System is typically where I go look. Sometimes I go look in Application, but I've never really found anything useful there. Waiting for it to go down, for me to go down and click on System, scrolling forward a little bit. And this is where I discovered that she's not shutting the computer off at night, because I've seen these 12:44 a.m., 2 a.m. entries, and I asked her, were you using the computer then? She said, no, it was shut down then. Oh, I don't think it was shut down. So then we go looking at other information and the settings for the power button and the lid, and we discovered that no, she actually just put it to sleep. I think it was by closing the lid. All right, well, I'm not going to spend more time there because I don't think there's anything Their background screen, Greg M suggestion, rat installed. Now I'm not sure if you're just saying generic rat like a bug or if that actually is something specific. I don't recognize that as an acronym. Seldom Ball, the file search utility, everything can list all picture files on the computer in order. That's good. Or reverse order of creation, which might help find it. That's very good. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Good idea. Rat is remote access Trojan. Got it, Greg. Thank you for that clarification. This is where Malwarebytes might come in handy, but it's always goofy to use lately, meaning avoiding the paid version. I used EST and I used the Microsoft offline scanner and looking through things manually. Well, there's a scam call from Cayucos, California. Not going to take that. QuickBook Update Engine. I've seen that there so commonly. I don't really think that's it. Of course, it could be buried there. Scammers could have seen, oh, there's a QuickBook Update Engine. We'll bury our software there. And also I've seen both with this client and with somebody else that turned up in search results where they said when they had that blue screen, the mouse was moving on its own. Well, that's when the scammers are connected. And yes, we know that the scammers were connected when she first called me. She said she described that blue screen with that message and the mouse is moving around. That's when I told her to hold down the power button. But since then, the times that she's seen that message come up, the mouse is never moving on its own. And it has come up right away when she first wakes the computer up or turns it on, which would be before they've had a chance to notice, hey, this computer is available. So that kind of implies that if it is something buried that is still trying to dial home, that they could still have something there. Any dailies? Oh, does Ken have any shows today? I do have a redirect currently set up for Pirate Software. Speedy says, Doug, I will check out the streamer bot commands at the end of the show. I'm glad you're getting streamer bot sorted. That page really looked like a Microsoft update screen. Yeah, well, they make it look like that because they want you to think that's what it is. But I've never seen that wording. All right, I'm kind of scanning through here. That was the one I noticed listed as unverified. Yeah, so that right. Showing the 31st is being mentioned. Zoom without Zoom, yeah. With the voice, text to the voice. Just order DA converter so I can get digital sound. Little old school pull a drive, use USB adapter. I'm not going to go that extent unless I'm convinced that they actually are connecting to the computer. Yeah, it's a little debatable about how well Microsoft does with malware. Okay, I'm going to shut down here. Monday. Have a great week, everybody. I hope your Monday goes well. There's the email address if you want to send a question for myself in the chat room to respond to after the show. Not after the show. Words, Doug. Use the right words. If he wants to respond to during this show. I better hang up now. Goodbye.